everybody. Welcome to another edition of Mr. Parker's Neighborhood. And once again, I'm Mr. Parker, and today's guest, I'm still grabbing people that I know from my neighborhood. So today I have with me Mr. L. How are you, sir? How you doing?
I'm good. How's everybody doing? What's going on? Glad to be here.
Oh man, well, we're glad to have you. But we play a little game here first. While I have my guests, my viewers guess what my guest does. So that's what I'm saying. Right now, Mr. L, I'm gonna throw some things out there to see if they can figure out who you are. All right. First of all, is my guest a well-known author? Is my guest B an accomplished musician? Is my guest C a ex or a retired bodybuilder? Or is my guest E none of the above?
Oh,
Y'all ain't get it. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, here it is. Mr. Stephen Lacy, will you please tell the people what it is you do?
I am an entrepreneur. I am an ex-bodybuilder. I am a former promoter. I am a just person living life. That's how I like to see it. That's how I like to see it.
Yes, sir. And you are doing your thing, man. And again, I want to thank you for taking time out. I know we're at a busy piece right now in your things you got going on. And we'll get to that later. But tell the people, first of all, where you from, where were you born, and some things about Mr. Lacy.
Born in St. Louis, Missouri, went to Riverview Gardens High School, grew up in Hathaway Manor South, real close to Castle Point. You know, which is now considered the hood, which, you know, wasn't the hood when we was growing up, but it's the hood now. You know, started my career as a barber, you know, flourishing the...
Hold up. Well, you trying to feed them quick fast. Now we're gonna slow walk this thing, man. So as far as your family goes, how many siblings do you have?
2 brothers, 2 sisters, 2 older sisters, 2 younger brothers.
So you're the middle dude.
Yep.
Now, as far as coming up, like you said, in Hathaway Manor, growing up there at the time you were coming through, you were at the point of that we were having that change, that shift from white only to us moving in on a regular. How was that?
So we moved over there. I was 3, and by the time I turned about 7. Is when I started seeing the, you know, black kids moving to the neighborhood, because it wasn't any when we moved over there, you know, but by the time we turned, I was 7, 8, 9, and start flipping, you know. In school, you know, when we still went to school, we were still kind of 50-50 white, black, but Riverview is predominantly black now. You know, even all that area around the school, everything is black. When we were growing up, that was all white people lived over there. Now it's totally, you know, it's not that anymore.
Right. And coming up now, were you involved in any other, like say, as far as the any other arts? As far as, did you do plays? Were you an athlete?
I was in band. I was in band.
Right.
I did band from the time I was 4th grade till 11th grade.
Okay.
And then I was basketball manager from sophomore to senior. Okay. But as far as like play sports, no. But I thoroughly enjoyed managing a basketball team. You know, never missed a game. I was at every home game, away game, keeping all the stats. And, you know, everybody was, oh, you just a glorified water. I wasn't a water boy. I had jobs to do. You know, it was important to make sure, you know, that book get kept correctly, and all the rebounds and, you know, all that stuff had to be, you know, itemized for everything, for, you know, for stats. So it was cool.
Yeah. Now you came up in Riverview. When you got there, and when did you graduate? 90?
90. So I started fall of 86.
Okay. So yeah, you came in, that put you 3 years behind me. So when you came in, like I say, I think by my senior year, your sophomore year, I believe that's when you started laying down a little bit of what was the Lacy gonna come to be. I think you started doing your polo stuff by then, wasn't you? Or was you already doing this stuff?
When I high school, let's see, freshman year, you trying to find your way, but then like sophomore year, ran for class president,
Yeah, yeah.
stayed on student council. So it was, I was in pep club. So it was kind of a getting on type thing. But who knew that at such a young age, you're creating something and you're building a brand that was going to live on and go on with you forever. I never knew it. I just tried to be cool with everybody. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to do nothing. I just knew everybody.
Right, right.
That was it. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, so like I said, and then by the time I say it's junior, senior year come, senior year, as far as you and the crew and senior, wait, who was out you had some characters in that crew with you. Who was some of the people that stood out in that crew with you?
Let's see. Class of 90. If you saw me, you saw LaChanda.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw me, you saw Nicole Bonner,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
saw Lynn Yard, you saw Deshawn, you saw Katrina. Um, if you saw me, you saw my girl Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else was always with me? Marilyn, Tanya Owens, them that was my if you saw me at any, Clifford, me, Cliff, Sean, Zero, it was, yeah, I had a nice little round table of folks that I was always with, in high school. So yeah,
and like
always.
and then after high school, is that when you decided to go into barbering, or was that something?
Yeah, so everybody went away to school, and
Right,
I
right.
got accepted to some of the schools, but my dad was like, you ain't really the studious student like that. I was too busy trying to, be best dressed, and you know, for some reason I was best dressed, most likely to succeed, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is an honor, but what am I gonna do with my life?
Right, right.
Because once everybody went away to school and I went to Flow Valley, I hated it for that first semester. And I was like, So I always wanted, I was always intrigued by hair.
Okay,
Seal, he used to have his barbershop right there at Monarch and Chambers.
okay,
Growing up, I would, sweep the floor there. I still talk to his kids all the time. He's deceased, but, Melanie and Kevin, I see them all the time.
okay.
But, I'm 12 years old cleaning the floors, and, it just, who knew it would have that type of an impact? And
Right.
always growing up, I was just so particular about my haircut. And my dad used to be like, well, why? I get the car, and my boy Daryl worked down at Harry's on Pope and West. You all the way down there getting your haircut? Yeah, like these the best fades down here in the city. These county dudes ain't talking about nothing. So Daryl, Myron, Harry, they down there. They fade Farrell here across the street. I'm like, I'm laid, but I'm about to get my neck broke from going all the way down there in the car. But hey, I wanted the fade, so I'm watching them, but not really understanding what they're doing.
Okay.
So it was like when I got to barber school, once the clippers got put in my hand, I knew what the haircut was supposed to look like because I was intrigued by the haircut.
Okay.
So it was like it was a natural situation that occurred. And next thing you know, once I started school, I was building up really, really fast and didn't
Right.
even really understand what was happening. I thought I'm gonna, do this barber thing so I can go away to school. And what was so funny, the guy I came real cool with in barber school, he wound up leaving and went to TSU. And my Deshaun was at
Okay.
Futrell
Okay.
was at TSU. I was like, oh well, Demond going to TSU. Can I? And I never even got an opportunity to see if I could go to TSU and go and take my skill. And you got, your Clippers now. You can make a little money on the
Right.
side and
Right.
go to school. Everything took off so fast, I wound up working.
Mm.
So, school became, it was like, okay, I'm gonna try it again next year. Next thing you know, it's 93, then it's 97, then it's 99, then it's 2005. And the years just kept going by. But once it got 2014 hit, I finally paused and I went on and went back to school. And
Okay.
even though I hated community college, I went on back, did my associates and left there, did hair stove, got my bachelor's, and then I finished my it's called the executive MBA I
Okay.
finished that at Howard just this fall, so we graduate in May.
Oh,
So went on
congratulations,
back
man.
and did all of that, and you know, because I always wanted to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and it just like I said, work preceded it, and it just the business took off, and it wasn't a bad thing.
Right,
I
right,
don't
right.
regret it, but I always still wanted to do the school thing, so.
Well, and like I say, and you did it later on, but you got it done. That's all that matters.
I got it done. I got it done. Because
And
I
like,
had a goal. I said I'm gonna finish whatever I could finish by the time I turn 50. And I
okay.
finished the course like 2 weeks before my birthday. When I turned 50, I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm so good.
And like you say,
Yeah.
it's the fact of you being who you are, like you said, coming through the where you wanted to go, but the business, once you got started, and again, that's why I didn't want to say your name in first, because in the beginning, you're right, you booked up and Steve Lacy was doing everybody hiring, doing this, that, and other, opening shops. Like, wait a minute, I know that I know who it is, but I like, okay, it's you rolling, and then like I say, my when I got my second wife, I'm hanging out with them, and they talking about, yeah, I gotta call Steve and see if I can get in and get my hair done. He always busy. And I'm laughing. I say, Steve, who? Oh, you think you know everybody? I say, I probably if he went to review, I think he did go review. I say, okay. To my Lacy, how you know Lacy? I said, we went to school together. Yeah, I know Lacy, that's family. And I'm talking about Tanya, Nikki Roach, and Kim. I mean, Tanya,
Yep.
Nikki Roach, and Tracy.
Yep. I remember them.
Yeah,
Yep.
because Tanya
Yep.
talking about, Steve gonna do this, and this, but I gotta call him first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know them, but I mean, and that's a beautiful thing to hear and say that I know somebody who's doing something. Because brother, you have done your thing. I'm telling you, like I said, worldwide. Steve Lacy do your hair or cut you up. It's a good thing.
Yeah. And what's so funny is like, I got one of my good friends. She always tells me, she's like, you're so humble about everything that you've done. And I'm like, because it never, for me, everything just kind of came about, just wanting to have fun.
Right.
The barbering. Never thought I would be in the hair industry this long, but now it's like, what else could I see myself doing?
Right.
Like I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy seeing my clients and talking to them, making them feel good. Even flipping from barbering to doing hair now, which hair was something I wanted to do before,
Okay.
but the barbering took off. So I rolled with that as long as I could, and then I made the switch. But then, you incorporate the parties, being a party promoter. I just wanted to throw my birthday party, and the birthday parties every year just got bigger and bigger. And it just, grew into this thing that just became bigger than me. And I started doing small concerts and other events, and and you look up and all the years have passed, and everybody that's so most people know me from that if they don't know me from hair. And it's
Right.
just
Right.
this, like I said, it never was something that I intended it to be like to become some famous person or anything like that. It never was that. It was just, just have fun. That's what I just wanted to do. I just wanted to, once I had, tried to see all these, like in the 90s when Puffy and them was doing all those
Yeah.
parties, I was
Yeah.
like, I want to have parties like that. I want to do that. And that's all I was thinking. I just wanted to have fun, Biggie and them and all the Versace shirts. And I just wanted to do that stuff, and it looked up, and like I said, it just kept going. And I was like, wow, this is really a thing, So hey.
And like I said, that's the major piece about it, is that, like you said, it was not the fact of you trying. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna throw a party. And that was it. It was like, okay, you going to Steve party? He throwing a party, Steve throwing a party, yeah. Steve throwing a party. And that became the thing. Like you say, you went from in your mind, just some little get together to where people talking about, man, we got her go to Steve party because they ain't letting everybody in. Like, what kind of stuff Steve got going? And then, like I said, really the hair piece and doing the parties, like I say, it was just amazing to say and watch how you grew and moved through the whole situation during that time. Because I said you were doing stuff and your name was coming up, and it wasn't you out front. Come on, yeah, I'm doing. It was like word of mouth kicked out, and everybody else was pushing you. Talking about, yeah, I'm just doing my thing, that's all.
Yeah,
And that's
and that's just how I saw it. And everybody else was like, well, you having a party. I'm just like, okay, yeah, so, no big deal. But yeah, so like I said, I enjoyed it all. We had fun. Um, and here we are, now we 50. It's a little harder to get folks to, everybody's always, oh, you should get back to throwing parties. You should get, well, it's a little different now because,
yeah,
I even realized like at this age, um, if I say I'm gonna do something, but if I get to the point where it's time to go and you don't feel like going, you ain't going. Because you're at an age now, you know it just don't even matter. You just be like, okay, I catch the next one. But like last night, my best friend, she hang out a lot of the taverns. So I met her down at a little tavern last night, and I had never, I had never been there, and everybody in there, I'm 50, so everybody in there had to be 55 plus. So we talking not even aunties, we talking grandma. And I'm like, but it made me feel good to see that. I'm like, dang, they still go out, they still
yeah,
get them a
yeah.
drink. They was getting up, they was stepping, they was dancing. They had these little decorated cups on the table and everything. And I said, there is hope. I said, we're gonna be older, still be able to go out and shake a leg and get you a little cocktail and everything, because they still getting it.
And man, like you say, and it's amazing because now, like you said, we at that point to where when we was in our 20s, we was trying to get to them 30 parties or whatever. We hit 30, like, yeah, we got to roll it. And now we sit about, whoa, we at the spot to where, okay, can we do it? Will we do it? Who gonna show up? But regardless, even with the review stuff, man, them last couple of picnics before pandemic, oh man, that was just beautiful to see everybody. And then to find
Mhm.
out, like I said, in y'all case, it's so many barbers and beauticians from the View who are
It
doing that
is.
thing, and we
It is.
family.
It is. Yeah. So yeah, I always tend to. It seems like every time the picnic occurs, something's going on. Like because we had our 25 reunion,
Right?
and the next day, I got an award at a barber event. So
Okay.
they were like, "You coming to the picnic?" I was like, "No, I got to go get this award." And then we were supposed to have the 30 in 2000 pandemic hit. So now we're having it this year.
Okay.
So I'm still riding with I'm the planner, so I'm still riding with the 30 theme, even though it's 32. I'm just still
Okay.
gonna ride with the 30 theme. So, but I don't think it's gonna bump up with the picnic because the rumor of the picnic is a little later. So had already had the date booked at the hotel. So I just rolled with what we had. So
Yeah, and like I say, and that's the other thing about being the planner as far as the party planner. It ain't the fact that you plan just you've been called in to plan other people's parties. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
I'm saying so you have, like I said, and that's the whole thing I'm trying to get people to see is that regardless of you being a local cat, your stuff is national. Ain't no just local. You a national doer, mover
Yeah.
and shaker, man. And I'm proud of
Been
you for that,
trying.
man.
Been trying. I appreciate that. Yeah, I right now my best friend, Lady Reed, a comedian, funny lady. I can't never get it all right. Lady Reed, the funny lady,
Right,
however
right.
she put it. I should know it by heart. But anyway, we trying to get her into some new gigs, and she
Okay.
does a lot around the city. So I do her managing. So any invoices, paperwork, booking hotels, flights, all that stuff, I handle for her. So
Okay.
she's on the scene a lot here. She does a lot of hosting, a lot of comedy gigs. She got a chance to open up for a lot of people. So just trying to, hopefully get her pushed into the right direction and get her going. So
all right. So now let's go back a little bit. So how did you find time or take time to become Steve Lacy, the bodybuilder?
so that whole thing came about because, I never was really sports inclined. I always, wish I could have played football, wish I could have had the skill set to play basketball. I tried, I just didn't have the coordination and everything like that. So, I was never pushed into sports at an early age. So, I didn't have the coordination. So me, I got older and, you wanted to be in shape. And my boy Troy, he had did a show and I started working out with him. He was like, the only way you're gonna get in shape is if you do a show. And I'm like, what that mean? I'm like, okay. So I look up and it was like 2006 and I'm just standing, half naked on the stage in front of these people, half baked, not really done is what I called it, and I done it. And I was like, well, damn, you did it. So the next thing, I was like, well, I just kept going back because I wanted to get better and better. Next thing you know, it was 2007. I tried 2 more shows. It was 2008. I tried again. And it took me all the way to 2014 to actually, all those years to actually peak correctly and really, really come to the show at my best. Gotcha. And then after I did that, I was just kind of like, where the chicken wings? I'm like, I can't do this no more. I swear to you, I was like, I had just been, I miss it, but I don't miss it. Okay. But like I said, it did establish a good foundation in life. Like I still work out on a daily basis. I'm about 50-50 on the food, but that whole piece of getting in the gym, hitting the weights, do a little cardio, it's in. And even when I'm eating, I still, I'm somewhat conscious of what, you're supposed to do. And that's just it. Like I'm, about the liquor intake, all that. I try and be a little conscious about all of that, not going too far, not going too far overboard and all of that. So yeah, it's just in me. But that led to, I wound up, I just can't do anything halfway. So I wound up learning how to judge. Okay. So I started judging different competitions here locally and, then, different Midwest cities. I've been to Seattle to judge. That's probably the furthest I've been to judge. And then I got with a sanction and we teamed up with them and brought an event to St. Louis. Okay. So I wound up promoting my own show. Gotcha. So I did that 3 years in a row from 2013, 14, 15. I did those 3 years. And I learned a lot on every level of it. There's a lot of politics that, come in the natural bodybuilding sanction because there's so many sanctions, gotcha. And all of them don't operate under the same umbrella. Okay. So just because they're all natural doesn't mean that, you can do this with this one and this with this one, different, all of them got different criterias and all of them, really don't play together. And it's just kind of like, it's crazy. But, everybody got their own set of rules. So that's what it is. But in a nutshell, I learned a lot with it. I don't regret any of it. Okay. And it was, like I said, it was just another learning curve in life, learning something different, and that's it.
Yeah, and like you said, man, I mean, you put it in work too, bro. Cause I was like, that ain't no Steve Lacy. That is Steve Lacy.
everybody was so like, I'm telling you, it was, that a lot of things I take for, I'm probably not gonna say take for granted, but it's a lot of times I kind of misunderstand when you're doing things and you're known. Mm-hmm. You always never really know the effect that it has on people. Right. I had a lot of people coming up to me telling me, man, you inspired me to get into the gym. Yeah. And and oh man, you going back to school at a late age in life, that inspired me to go back and finish my degree. You never know who's watching. Yeah, because you're seeing so much in the public eye that you never know the impact that you have on people. Right. So glad I ain't out here doing nothing crazy, because then, that'll be a different story.
Different story, yeah.
But for the most part, like I said, it feels good to know that, my journey could help somebody else to get on their journey. So,
like I said, man, and like you say, it's the fact of if you would have been doing it on a different level that wasn't having a positive effect, oh, you've been talking about all day long, man. You've been now you would have been the most important dude then, because Steve ain't doing this, Steve don't do that, Steve ain't doing. But like I say, the stuff you've done in the community and the stuff you've done, like I say, the higher stove piece is doing now, helping push people on that note. People don't pay that any attention or even say they thank you for it or they proud of you for doing that. And I just want to take time out to say thank you, man, for being that kind of motivator for people. Because
I get so many calls. Everybody, I heard you on the radio. And I'm like, they've been running their piece since last August, I think. And we almost in the April.
Yeah.
So, they use some of their, distinguished alumni to come back and do those little pieces. And it was cool. I did a video and then I did a voiceover.
Okay.
So the voiceover was for radio, and then they did a video. I don't know where they showed the video at, but,
And like
but yeah, it was good to do that.